Greetings and welcome to the broadcast. We're going to look at 3 items from a dollar store. Well, first up are 2 handheld laser pointers, only $1 a piece. Hard to believe, a lot of bang for the buck. The larger one comes with a little reading light, a laser pointer, and acts like a stylus. The smaller one comes with a keychain, nice blister pack. Gosh, you got the batteries out there. Hard to believe you're getting something like this for $1. Individually blistered on the batteries, the warning signals. It's about time to give one of these things a little test to see what they do. Now, on the Bibles, we've got also for just $1, this blue one is a flush cut Bible. It's going to be interesting to see how it compares to a big gun there. There's a lot going on with scriptures, with Bibles, and shortcuts taken by publishing companies. Anyway, let's go ahead and get these laser pointers out and see what they can do. The top one has an authoritative little snap on both the buttons, which are really very high. The bottom one has much more refined feel, good buttons, and more power as well. When you look at the large one, we've snapped off the little pocket clip for photographic purposes here. They tell you to get them in this country, you can't take them apart. However, if you work them back and forth and twist them, you can snap them apart and get to the hearing aid batteries, and indeed you can replace them. There is the obligatory warning labels on both of them. Got to be careful. Don't put this thing in your eye, guys. Now, the smaller one comes with a keychain, 2 big buttons, and a very unusual key ring. This key ring you don't see them much in this country, called a scalloped key ring. Many nations that don't believe that NASA is truthful about the Earth being round have key rings like this as reminders. Unusual to see them in this country. Anyway, a fantastic blister pack. Let's go ahead and give just a quick little test, and then maybe even go to the dark room and see what these things will do. Again, good switches, high profile switch in the small one. Great power at night. These things, you can see them far off. Now in the dark room, like every Boy Scout is taught to do, you put the tip of your thumb on. Now there's the large one. We just did the small. There's the large one. Let's do this again so the people down on YouTube can maybe get a better sense. Okay. That was the small one. This is the large one. You can't see it too well on YouTube, but the larger one has a little bit more power to it. And so for the stylus laser pointer, that one takes the cake. Well, folks, unfortunately, we're going to have to modify our assessment of the $1 Bible. When you open it up, it's so small, we almost can't do the show here. This is one of those goofball quarters where the word Bombay is written on the back in bigger font than the state. I'll put that here. This, compared to that quarter, I mean, I'll even zoom in here. We gave it a chance. We tried. You just can't get to that font to give a fair test. In the back here, it does say the thing was, Minerva Books Limited, that was published out of New York, probably on a grant deal or something. Get 4 million of these out, and we'll give you some money. But what we're going to have to do, not to sell this thing short, the word acrostic in the Bible, Psalm 119 is used as a litmus test. For instance, this word here says heart, ember, abuse, resin, trend. If you read it this way, heart, ember, abuse, resin, trend, that's called an acrostic. And when you go to the big Bibles like this one here, you go to Psalm 119, you can look up that 119 and see if the publisher faithfully showed us that was an acrostic. So we'll go ahead and take a quick peek here. And by proxy, we'll judge that small $1 Bible. Okay, here we are. Here's the big Bible. Psalm 119 has like the word Aleph up here and the word Bet here. And when you look at these little headers like this, that's actually part of the acrostic. It's letting you know, it's alerting you that Psalm 119, this thing right up here, is indeed an acrostic. Now, oddly enough, on the Bible that we actually can't read, this one right here, it did faithfully have the acrostic in it. It took a magnifying glass to read. Now, there's 2 kinds of acrostics we want to talk about just briefly here. We're going to go to a couple of the things, that'll be it. The word I showed you here was heart, ember, abuse, resin, trend, this thing. This is something that is one kind of an acrostic. Another one is a verbal acrostic. In fact, I'll make one up real quick here. Stay with me just a minute. A is for apples. We eat them every day. B is for Boy Scouts who chase the girls at play. C is for cat. Watch them run. D is for dogs. How much fun. You can make a little limerick like that. Well, the entire Psalm 119, I believe it's the longest psalm in the Bible. It's a big one. It's a long read here. is an acrostic. So if you're into puzzles and things like that, that would be something for you to key in on when you make a Bible purchase. A couple other things real quick. The book of Ezra, Ezra. This one up here, this book on chapter 7, verse 7 and 8, and when they're 9, 10, when it goes to verse 11, Ezra chapter 11. See how they put this little special kind of a mark here? This is almost looks like a paragraph. That's alerting you. There's something's going on when you see a mark like that. You don't see anywhere else on here. And that means that regardless of what maybe you've been told by some of the churches, the Bible is written in three languages, Hebrew and Greek. And this third language, it goes by three different names. Sometimes it's called Aramaic, sometimes it's called Chaldean, sometimes it's called Syriac, depending on how you do it. So this Bible alerted you that, hey, just this passage here, if you're really going to do deep studies, is indeed Aramaic. The other Bible, unfortunately, this one here did not have that. So now when you look at the paper on this thing, is there much bleed through? Well, just take one page like this here, and there's not much bleed through of ink. The higher quality Bibles, of course, when you look there, you don't want to see any bleed through where they save money or use a cheaper ink. So overall, I certainly wouldn't say this is not worth $1, but it's almost unreadable. Well, this kind of wraps up our our check of 3 different things at a dollar store. And as always, all this McGuys Craft stuff is free. If you get a chance, why not go ahead and read the Bible cover to cover sometime? Take a look, see what you think. Bye for now.